Wow. It's working or is it not working? Ah, there we go. Sweet. Here we are live. Is it laggy? Is it super laggy?
We're testing this. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's like super laggy. I'm on my fucking hotspot, so I'm not sure what the fuck is going on here. What the hell? We'll try it, see how it goes. Well, I want to get on here and go live. Is this working? I'm not sure. I mean, YouTube out there. Just alerting all my fans that does it have audio, I'm hoping. I've got an excellent connection according to my YouTube fucking... well, geez, I just thought I'd get on and talk about... I think the Afghanistan thing is like a dark thing for everybody. Probably similar to what when the troops pulled out of Vietnam and Saigon and things. And so it's just like the last few days things have felt pretty bleak. With the resurgence of the coronavirus and the Delta variant and all of this, not only that, but in my own life, I mean, it's about to be fall, so that could complicate the behavior of the virus. And the summer was nice, sort of. Yeah, it was nice, but we don't know what's coming. And now, I mean, with this fucking, I think it triggers us because, right, we're all 9/11 traumatized. It's sort of it's the one thing that kind of unites really the whole world, to be honest. Fuck, what's going on? Check video resolution. Is that too much or not enough? Or current resolution? That's how much it is, motherfucker. Sorry, that's just what it is. So don't ever interrupt me when I'm streaming. God damn it. So, but it reawakens a lot of that stuff, and we're far enough. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, the 20th anniversary since 9/11 in less than a month. So those vibes are coming back. It's hard to believe, actually, it's been 20 years, to be honest. That's over half my life has taken place since 9/11. 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. Never forget. And living in New York, it's just like, Jesus Christ. But here's what I will say. Well, I turned on George Stephanopoulos, ABC News. They had the first interview with Biden, and he said there was no way that we were going to pull out without chaos. And I agree. I mean, that's why because once you get in Afghanistan, you have to stay there, and just like it just depletes all your, like, this has happened before. I mean, he said it didn't seem like there was any scenario where they could have done that without chaos, which, like, to be honest, like, they're giving the country, if they would have had to have left troops there, right, to keep it, I think he said something like that about, like, if they would have left, they would have had to add troops. I mean, knowing what they know now, I'm sure they would have tried to, you know, it just doesn't seem like there would be a way out of that without that happening. Like, everybody's been pressuring, and especially from the right wing. I mean, one of Trump's main fucking things was with these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, waste of money, we got to get the troops out. He pulled the fucking troops out of Syria, you know, like, he was all about that shit. He negotiated with the fucking Taliban, all of that shit. Like, the Republicans, the right-wing talk radio people, they were very much like, let's get the fucking troops out. It's a waste of money, because that's the stupid talking point. We don't need to protect these countries. They should be paying us. We're wasting money. We're wasting tax dollars on these forever wars. Bush's wars, goddammit. I'm not changing my video resolution, piece of shit, okay? How can I opt out of this fucking I don't care. That's what my goddamn thing will do. That's what it is. So just accept it and like it. Learn to love it. You don't like it, but you better learn to love it. So, gosh, I mean, getting on at 11 at night, I've been kind of super emotional the past few days because I was actually sober yesterday. Believe it or not, like, kind of my most intense tweet storms are like when I'm sober. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just like riding that adrenaline high out of... Maybe I'm not actually sober. Maybe I'm like in withdrawal or something. I was watching this Robert Sapolsky lecture today about depression. And he was saying something about you wake up super early and you actually have what is it, adrenaline, or I forget, but you're not actually lethargic. You're actually like more kind of full of like energy and charge and stuff. I don't remember the exact logic. I don't know. I probably should have did this earlier in the day. What the hell? I'm trying out my equipment. I've got my new scooter coming tomorrow. That's going to be super fun fucking adventure. Look for fun episodes with that shit. I'll be going all over New York for just the price of 100 subway rides. Or 2.5 Metro cards monthly. No, why is it calling it Scenes from a live stream? God damn it. Can I edit this? I wanted to call it The People versus Frankly Fabulous. Is that going to stop it, or are we still live? I hope so. I don't know. I just feel like a fucking loser for the most part. Blah, blah, blah. Well, my friend basically told me, I need to level up. And I don't know. It's a question of values. Like, I was not preparing myself to level up. The past few years has been kind of my MFA and being a fucking dropout and beatnik, and I don't feel like wrong in that quest. I think they should adjust to me. I mean, I'm not asking for anybody to take care of me. Like, I've got a nice setup. Hopefully, any minute now, I'll go viral. I was watching a video earlier today this guy talking about how America has this culture of overwork. And at the end of the video, he was talking about his Patreon page and how he needed monthly subscribers because paid advertisers won't advertise on his videos because they're anti kind of American status quo, and they're kind of they're not the typical vlogger or whatever, try on videos or whatever it is that has paid programming, unboxing videos. I guess if I was a real baller, I'd maybe I'll do an unboxing video for my scooter tomorrow. I don't know. When I see the shit on YouTube, it's like I need more music. My editing style is just a lot different. I mean, I suddenly feel so 20th century. I've been listening to all this new music. I was listening to fucking Bieber, a lot of Bieber, but Dua Lipa, fucking Willow, who else? Then these crazy bands. I mean, I don't like, but let's see. Just with these crazy names. Like super Gen Z, like hyperactive, who's this guy? Hold on. Charlie XCX, Angel Olsen. I listen to Angel Olsen. Of course, Carly Rae Jepsen. Churches. Been trying to get it. See, this is like new music to me. What is this? Fuck. Where is it? God damn it. Wayne Newton, of course. Oh, while I'm streaming, my fucking Spotify's like, okay, here we go. Machine Gun Kelly, Young Blood, The Kid Laroi. This was this. He's got a song called Pikachu, which I really liked, about a yellow Lamborghini or something. Same Energy has a song called Same Energy. I was getting into his shit a little bit. You know, I'm trying to, but it's like, I was listening to some of these fucking songs yesterday. I was like, you know, this shit's pretty good. Like, a lot of these new songs I like. I think music has learned how to, like, bump again. Like, it's gotten good again, I think, because everybody's so fucking panicked, and everybody's, like, had this kind of near-death experience with the pandemic that, like, it's kind of forced people to just, like, I don't know, get real, sort of. And so some of this music was actually not the kind of, like, oh, man, you'd turn on the radio, like, 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just, like, everything had just a flat pulse, just, like, shitty melodies. We found love right where we are. Was that one of the songs? I don't remember. I remember going to fucking, what's that market on, off Jefferson Avenue stop, that Hana Natural Food or whatever it is, and they always had, like, the current top 40, and it just felt lifeless. Whereas this new, although the tonality with a lot of the music over the last decade, right, it's become way more digital. And at first that seemed like, oh man, do we like auto-tune? But it's like, no, like, this is what music is going to sound like, and it's just going to build on that. It's all these super lush, like, synths, and really kind of, like, bumping ass, like, digital soundscapes, digital beats. I mean, super just expansive. It just feels like very, like flush with sound. And so the loudness wars, right? It's not as obnoxious, I don't think, as it was. I mean, guitar shit, forget about it. It's so, it will always exist in its way, right? Probably as a small kind of fucking, I'm not changing the resolution. Is it, am I streaming? Is it, do I have a clock on this? I don't even know if it's working. Let me check. Live for 12 minutes. I've been oh, I haven't been recording though. So do I stream and record? Okay. I don't need to record this. This is going online. YouTube will record it. I'm a streamer. I'm trying to be a Twitch streamer. Well, not Twitch. You know, things are inevitably getting more and more digital. And so now when you listen to music from the 60s where it's guitars and analog, it's just like, it doesn't have the same, I don't know, sonic breadth and fidelity, and just like, I mean, they could get certain, like, strings, or, I mean, a lot of the music from the 30s, like those big bands, it had kind of like a similar kind of like full kind of like just like robust. And these newer songs, I mean, I want to say, God bless Bieber. I'm so glad Bieber is Bieber, because you can tell he really cares. You can tell he really loves music. He smokes tons of weed, so he knows good shit. And he's a fucking artist, man. He is a fucking incredible. I mean, as Bieber, I don't know what his politics are or anything. Like, I don't know, but he's kind of a dumbass. But every teen fucking, I mean, we're lucky to have him, because he has a responsibility to the music, even though he's kind of stupidly religious or whatever. And like, I'd love to meet Bieber, honestly. I'd just love to say, man, I bet he's cool. Hey, man, you're cool. I like your music. Thank you. Like, he's legit, I think. Like, on that level, to have, like, somebody who's, like, a pop star, teen idol, he's, like, number one, right? He became famous when he was, like, a child. Like, how old was he? 8 or 10 or something? Like, I was listening to Baby. I loved that song in 2008 or whatever, when I was a wedding DJ, when it came out, 2009. He sounds like a fucking kid on it. He sounds like Wayne Newton. It's his Donkashane. baby, baby, but his new shit, like, it bumps. You can tell he cares about it, and like he works hard to make it good. And he's a great singer, man. Like, his voice is great. Like, props to Bieber. I mean, Sorry, great song. I don't know. I listened to that In Watermelon Sugar song, Harry Styles, and I was like, this is a total Bieber ripoff. I mean, I don't know what came first, but Watermelon Sugar sounds just like that Sorry song. I know a lot of songs kind of, I mean, Beck is trying to play in this space, right? Like, Beck has tried to, like, compete, and his last album was, he was trying to make songs that would sound like they fit on contemporary radio with real instruments. But his shit was imitating the lame stuff like I was talking about from a couple years ago. I don't know the names of any of those bands, to be honest. The Chainsmokers, are they one of them? I don't know. What song did they do? I haven't really delved into them yet. But you need Korg Tritons, you need like super synth knowledge to compete in this space, and so. But this is the world. I mean, when we look around us, when we see, look at Times Square, look at your phone, look at fucking social media, look at just the kind of magma of LCD or digital colors, the retina display, Instagram filters, all kind of just image overload, and retouched image, and CGI, right? Movies have become just really, we've talked about it, that liquidy kind of like metallic sheen, like the towers that are going up. But a lot of this newer music, like, I feel like it incorporates those kind of textures, but in a way that I feel like, I mean, Bieber, I think, really wants to be alive and dance and get down, and I think he knows how to have a good time, and it shows in the music. And like I said, I think he works hard. Thundercat, I was really into that. Friend Zone, that shit is dope. That, once again, that was kind of like a 70s kind of like daydreamy, but also like synth out. What are those, Moogs or chill? A lot of the music of the Zoomer, or like the last decade, is like chill wave, study beats. Here's like a fucking, live stream of like chill study beats. Thundercat has that kind of like funky, kind of like almost like step groove with these just like super lush 70s style Dragon Ball do-rag. Thundercat. That's from fucking, is that from what the hell was that? It was called the Thundercats, wasn't it? I had the toy. So that's like an 80s thing, right? And then Dragon Ball Z. He had Michael McDonald and fucking Kenny Loggins on one of his songs. So he's got that kind of, he incorporates that kind of yacht rock type. George Michael, I was listening to fucking George Michael. Love fucking George Michael. Probably one of the first like sexual tingles I ever felt was watching the George Michael Freedom video with all the supermodels. But also George Michael, to be honest, at that age, I mean, I thought George Michael was kind of a perfect looking person, to be honest. And I still think George Michael is super fucking cool. I can't believe he's dead. That's hard to believe. George Michael is really underrated, I think. I think he really is a great artist and musician. I tried listening to the Lucy Dacus cover of Dance in the Dark. I wasn't sure if it was a cover, if it was like just a song called Dance in the Dark. I got about 3 seconds into it. I didn't really see what... I did like the Angel Olsen thing. Gloria, that was kind of pretty good. Adam and the Ants, somebody told me to listen to them. That was The Day I Met God. It's a little too disciplined for me, but It's sort of post-punk, I'd say. Show You the Way. That's the Thundercat song. Charlie XCX. Charlie XCX has been around kind of a long time, really. Considering she seems very, like, of the moment. And, like, now. I didn't actually get to listen to Japanese Breakfast. But, like, okay, like what I was talking about with, like, these landscapes. Cocteau Twins. I've never really listened to Cocteau Twins. But, you know, being born in the 80s and sort of coming of age in the garage rock revival of, like, White Stripes, The Strokes, whatever. That was, like, 2000s, early 2000s. That was guitar music. Cocteau Twins at that point was still kind of, like, a little bit recent for me, or like, first of all, I just never really, they weren't in my parents' CD collection. My mom's CD collection, that's basically what I listened to. Whatever she had on CD, that's what I listened to. So she didn't have a Cocteau Twins CD. That's a way more like kind of a, like I said, like it's totally digital kind of soundscape. It's all, I don't know, MIDI pre-programmed, and it's beautiful. So the bands today, I would say, have more in common. They're building on like what Cocteau Twins did, a band that was more fully kind of a digital creation, as opposed to like even a band like Radiohead, which like is mostly a guitar band. They're basically a sort of a post-YouTube, post-REM rock band, but they've done a lot of things that incorporate digital whatever, but they're still basically, you could play their songs, probably most of them, on a guitar. Coldplay, they're just shitty, fuck them. But their sound is way more like these bands you hear on the radio now, like this Jack Antonoff guy, or I don't even know. They're all big. There's like a little bit of like fake white people jungle beat. I think Graceland was sort of degradedly copied by Vampire Weekend, and a lot of bands absorbed kind of like white people imitating African tribal, you know. That came into a lot of the music after like 2008. This kind of like adventure, like big beat. And a lot of the music now has that kind of what else? Spinning Away. Is that all the new music? That may have been all the new music I was listening to. Let's see. Car Seat Headrest. I don't know. That's a guitar band. I mean, I love the name Car Seat Headrest. I think it's really incredible. Madonna. Got to give Madonna some props. I think she gets kind of disrespected a little bit. Aphex Twin. One of my buddies, my buddy in San Francisco, I think. He was, but you know, he works in electronic music, and he's really highly developed at it. To him, Aphex Twin is like a pioneering, like, way in the, I mean, to me, Aphex Twin, if I listen to that, it's like some kind of unusually, I'm like sampling some kind of new music. Like, all of my music is so corny and old now. It's like, I didn't really realize the things that I thought were new ideas that people are like really hungry for. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I've already been done. Like, when I'm watching How I Met Your Mother, right, a lot of the fucking references and shit they make, I'm like, god damn, this is something that I thought, like, I just saw an episode where they had Boyz II Men on singing like this song, and I was like, man, that was like, that was something that occurred to me like last year or something. I was like, man, you never hear about fucking Boyz II Men anymore. It's like, Boyz II Men is like incredible, but you know, they were on that show in 2013 or something, so I don't know. I'm almost 40. I mean, our culture is such a youth-oriented culture I always feel some obligation to kind of check out what's new. It was rewarding, to be honest, to listen to some of the songs, which I don't really find that hasn't really been true. Most of the time if I listen to music, it's like, I don't really want to listen to it. Whereas a lot of this stuff, I was like, yeah, Bieber, this is fucking like, or the Dua Lipa song. I even like the Olivia Rodrigo song, to be honest. Like, I was kind of anti-Olivia Rodrigo because she's a Disney creation. She's in High School, the musical, the show, the musical. How funny. Wow. Aren't they hip? Isn't fucking, is that Disney? Like, she's a Disney creation. And Selena Gomez recently came out as how she sold her life to Disney at such a young age. It's like, yeah, Disney gets all these, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, you name it, Ryan Gosling, they were all in Disney. Shia LaBeouf, even Stevens, they're all fucking Miley Cyrus, they're all Disney, right? Olivia Rodrigo. And these are the seminal, the respected artists of our generation. They're the pop. People don't really divorce whatever the ethics of Disney are from these beloved icons of our childhood. Nobody really politically thinks, well, isn't Disney like kind of evil, and shouldn't we maybe not think fucking, I mean, I'm all for Free Britney. I think her fucking dad is a piece of shit, and like it's ruined her life. That's horrible. Like, by all means, free fucking Britney, please God. I love Britney. Britney's a part of all of our lives, okay? But it's also Disney, and why do you think she is this way? Why do you think she's being subjugated by her dad? What the fuck do you think happened? Like, they were all part of it. In this industry, you sell yourself. You sell your body, your soul, your everything. And maybe being famous sucks. Maybe we're good. Maybe it's good that we're not famous. But, okay, so Olivia Rodrigo had a song, what was it? A lot of these songs are about, like, fucking, like how your e-girls are ruining my life. This was a great one. This really, it's all caps with an exclamation point. The song is called E-Girls Are Ruining My Life by Corpse and Savage Gas with a $sign. Pop Smoke, I mean, how can you not like Pop Smoke? Like, there's some good shit going on in music. Lil Uzi, there's some funky, weird shit. E-girls are ruining my life. Like, what the fuck is that about? Way better than fucking Explosions in the Sky. Dancing in My Room by 347 Aiden. I like that song. Sugar Crash, exclamation point, by Eli Ott. See, they're very, like, short attention span. Adderall, in parentheses, Corvette by Pop Hunna. A lot of my playlists, this playlist is called Midtown Power Lunch, by the way. You can find it on Spotify. You can follow me. It's a public playlist. I like performative listening. I like doing performative listening on Spotify. Adderall, Corvette by Pop Hunna. The playlist is a poem. The song, a lot of times I don't even listen to the songs. I just like the titles, and I'm like, a good title does not necessarily a good song make. It usually doesn't. But I like the title. I'd almost rather just have the title. Fuck the song. And it's just so hard to find those songs. I don't know why. Even with all the predictive bullshit, like, I really want to hear a new song that I'm just like, yes, I love this. Maybe I should read that Brandon Brown book. He's all about, his book's called Top 40, and it's all about, he wrote a poem for every song that was in the top 40 of this certain week, I think in 2013. So, every poem is like titled whatever the number 40 song is, and kind of takes off from there. So I took a small workshop with him. He, a one-off thing. He writes a lot about this kind of like contemporary throwaway pop music, and it's not always good. I mean, like I said, it seemed like a few years ago, maybe I should do a listening video or something. Everybody does that. Just the dumbest shit works online. It's insane. Shit you never thought would works online. It really doesn't make any sense. Warning, I'm getting a warning. Please check the video. I get it. A streaming bit rate. The bit rate is too high? What does that mean? How do I change that? Settings. Can I do this right now? Yeah, here we go. Okay. It says 1,000. So let's do that. Okay. Can I change the fucking resolution? I don't even know. I don't really think that's a problem. I think YouTube is just being dumb. Here I am, a middle-aged, fucking gross, ugly. My body's going to shit. Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo. It's just like pop punk, and I'm sure it's just produced by the fucking people that produce that whole machine. They have writers, they have hip people that are middle-aged like me writing songs for 19-year-olds because they actually, have had the time to develop as artists and shit. Bieber, Hold On, I liked. Dua Lipa, I liked. Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo. Cardi B, right? How did I not mention Cardi B? Fuck. Cardi B is like one of the prime fucking artists. Levitating, Dua Lipa. Just interesting. People doing interesting things with fonts, typeface. Very, like fucking, Machine Gun Kelly uses all lowercase, which is something that I do. So we have that in common. I think he's from Cleveland. His lyrics are kind of funny. He had a lyric about, drunk making out in an elevator in New York City. Riding in a black car. I like kind of some of that. Good for You. Oh yeah, Olivia Rodrigo has a song called Good for You, which has been my catchphrase for the last year. Good for you. Good for them. Good for them. So I felt a deep kinship with that. She had a title that of sort of a mantra of mine. I don't know if listening to these John Giorno John Giorno has all these pieces that are like super bitter and negative, which is weird because he's a Buddhist. So you'd think he wouldn't want to broadcast that, but a lot of his stuff is just like super like angry and like very New York. He sounds like a Scorsese character in a lot of his stuff, but he says, I don't want it, I don't need it, and you cheated me out of it. And let's see. Thanks for nothing, right? That's another big thing for John Giorno. That's been kind of my inspiration, that vibe. For the past year, really, since the pandemic and shit. It's just been this kind of like bitter venge goddess or something. Maybe that's the Kali Yuga energy. The Shiva energy. We'll see. Travis Barker is back, right, in a big way. He's dating a Kardashian. I mean, he's in Blink-182. Everybody loves that fucking shitty band. Just like Bush, right? It's just like Bush. All the things that were horrible, that were forced down our throat through like the mass media hypnosis of our bullshit lives. Everybody like loves them now. Like, oh, Paris Hilton or the Kardashians or Travis Barker. It's like, this shit sucked. It's all poison. It's not culture. The Disney industrial complex. It's all, the radio just has become, well, part of what has interested me and caught my ear about this new music is it doesn't seem like it's playing by the same rules. It seems like they're actually trying to make good music rather than they have control of the airwaves and they can just put anything they want on, which is what it's felt like basically for forever. Like, there's really not been a whole lot of good stuff. The Weeknd is okay. That song Blinded by the Light or whatever, it's okay. Let's see how my stream's doing. This is kind of a test. I'm just kind of... Alright, let's see. Check the fucking video resolution already. No way. Never going to do that, okay? Please feel free to watch my fucking stream, you cocksuckers. Sorry, pardon my French. Build a Bitch by Bella Poarch. Oh, the way I found these songs, right, is like there was a playlist on Spotify that was like the top TikTok trending songs. So I knew that not only they would be very youth-oriented and cutting edge, right, but I knew they would also be super bumping and tasty and catchy because it's TikTok. So it's all about, like, you know, kind of making shit good in 10 seconds. Like, I don't know what it is about TikTok. I don't use it really that often. Well, part of what's interesting about this stuff, right, is it's like you can almost, like, archaeologically, like, score the generations by the fucking social media that they feel most normalized or comfortable with. Like, you know, Instagram was, like, the coolest fucking thing and the youngest thing and the hottest thing for our generation, millennials, but now there's TikTok. So TikTok is suddenly, I mean, it used to be Snapchat, and from what I understand, TikTok is really just Snapchat. But TikTok is like, you know, I heard somebody the other day, Vic Berger said his TikTok got banned or something. He said it's not right for a 39-year-old man to be on TikTok. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know exactly what he's talking about. But, like, is that true? To some degree, I think, like, our minds just aren't, like obviously the attention span in the media and stuff has just changed so dramatically, so quickly in our lifetimes that it's easy to get obsolete and kind of irrelevant quick. I mean, maybe it's always felt that way, but I think as an artist, to some degree, it's important to know what is going on and listen to the newest thing and try to play in that space and use it. I think that's good. I think working in the now is better than working in the past or well, I mean, even working in the future, trying to predict the future, I don't think is a bad idea. Not in a science fiction way, not in an escapist way, but like, I mean, pop music especially, I think, is very contingent on the new. Maybe more so than any other form. I mean, it seems like they can get it out quicker, maybe. And because it's like purely mental, because it's music, there's no, I mean, other than music videos and whatnot, it's like it's something you create in your mind. It's like it can invoke your imagination of what now is or what now feels like. And I think it's pop music's job to define that for us. What it means to live in 2021. We want something extremely new sounding that we've never heard before. And whoever can come up with that, like, the culture bows down. I mean, it's not always good. Well, I feel like the democracy of ideas or the marketplace of ideas or whatever, right, will create great music. It's just we've had a lot of stuff crammed down our throats, like I said, because of Clear Channel and predictive hits that aren't really merit based. Whereas, like, pop music will function if you let people find what they like. You can't really argue with that. Like, that's, I mean, obviously that's commercialism. This is what we're talking about. I think in order to be cutting edge, you do kind of have to be commercial, maybe, because there's money in it. There's technology in it. I think in order to sound Like, especially now, maybe that's always been true, but I think in order to sound like tomorrow or even right now, I think you have to have technology, which is probably expensive. You have to have state-of-the-art technology, whether it's, like I was talking about, synthesizers, right, in the 80s or now, or you just have to come up with the newest thing. Stutter edits, dubstep, DJ fucking culture, like it's almost required that things be digital. If something's not digital, people think it's like cheesy or something. Whereas in the 90s or growing up where I did, where it was like more rock and roll people, there was some sense that like the digital was like corporate, fake, commercial. But I mean, look at Beck. Like, okay, I saw the other day him on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, 1997. And at that time, he was kind of like one of the central pop figures of the night, like with Bjork and Radiohead and whoever else, Metallica, fucking Snoop Dogg. He was up there, right? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fucking Tupac. The cover, Biggie Smalls, 1971, 1997. It was the same month Biggie got killed. Assassinated. I think he was assassinated. I think Chris Rock was wrong about everything. It's special that everybody loved. Bigger, or whatever it was in the night. I don't think it was Bigger and Blacker. He was wrong about everything. He was wrong about whatever the fuck I was just talking about. Biggie. He was assassinated. He was a major figure. But back he's somebody that could have maybe, that's the name of the game in pop music, right? Somebody to kind of like fall by. And he kind of did for a little while during the Scientology years. Some of his stuff was kind of weakish. Well, to be honest, like I don't think he's ever really recaptured the magic of Odelay, to be honest. He's made a lot of like competent and he stayed in the game, and he's even tried. I mean, he's tried to do it again. His album that he made in the 2000s, the Bush era, was kind of like fucking Odelay throwback. It just wasn't as good. I don't know his lyrics, his magic. He lost track of the poetry. That's his problem. He got disconnected from like the actual so you have to do both. But I mean, I will say he even looks kind of like sort of, I don't know, partially like cryogenically frozen or preserved or something. And I think the music has that quality. It does have like a Botox quality or like a plastic surgery type quality. I think when you're working with these, and that's not my thing. I'm a naturalist, but the culture is more and more willing to incorporate those kind of things, right? Like fucking Lana Del Rey, to me looks, I mean, maybe she hasn't had plastic surgery, but I've never really gotten into Lana Del Rey. Maybe I should give her another chance. Oh, Bohinen, New York is Red Hot. You got to listen to that song. Is this what I want to talk about for the whole episode? I don't know why I really got into this, but it's what I was doing right before. Oh yeah, of course, the whole According to Jim soundtrack is on Spotify as well, so you can treat yourself to that. Well, right. So it's like it's bite size, right? 2-minute songs. You can get it for free on the radio, so it feels like the easiest way to receive the now and sort of crystallize the now, define the now. Pop music, it's our common, and I think as animals, it's our natural job to make music. Birds do it, everything does it, and so like coming up with new sounds, coming up with new bells and whistles, and just whatever the newest thing is. That's what pop music is great for. Hip hop, some of these fucking lyrics and shit. Wow, there was a lyric the other day that really blew me away. What was it? Fuck. I mean, the guy's Pikachu song was super dope. Damn, what was that lyric? Hold on, let me try and think of it for a second. I need a thinking break. It's like an ice cream headache. I need to build this into the show. I need sometimes I need to think of stuff. It takes a second. I'm not, I don't have researchers. It's all here. It's all taking place in my head, for better or for worse. I want your sex. See, I heard that song when I was a child, and I thought it was like George Michael and Madonna were like intensely erotic. I mean, that was MTV. It was cable. I remember the Wayne's World short film they showed on Saturday Night Live where Wayne makes out with Madonna, and it's shot like the Truth or Dare video, in that like really fucking beautiful kind of like, I don't know, Dahlia. Kind of like black and white, like that Herb Ritz. I think maybe Herb Ritz directed it. And Wayne makes out with Madonna. And that was like one of the first times I ever felt like, wow. Like, this is like, something's happening in my, I feel warm inside. And I was like sort of hiding from my mom, right? Or whoever else was watching it. There was some sense there was like discomfort, like, whoa. We shouldn't be watching this together. It's kind of awkward, right? Combat Rock, of course. Combat Rock is like the fucking album of the pandemic. Inoculated City. I don't know, as an artist, as a human being, as a thinker, as an observer, as a cosmopolitan micro-diarist, as a social commentator, as a vlogger, as a streamer, I do feel a need to keep up with current everything as much as possible. It feels like that's my job, to have things to talk about, to define the moment we're in, that what we're living through artistically. My work is very moment-to-moment based because that's the now. Just noticing. And, I mean, especially right now where it's like, oh my God. I mean, the Afghanistan thing felt like a crack in... Now, maybe it will be just an event that will pass. And certainly, I think the media is jumping all over it to make it seem as bad. It's not good, right? But as I mentioned earlier, just like, what way out of that? Like, people wanted the troops out. That was a very popular talking point. Getting the troops home. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? I mean, Biden should have known better, right? You're the president. It's your job. The fucking buck stops here, right? They should have... So, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe... I mean, they're taking ownership of it in a way that I think may pay off. Because, like, to be honest, I do think there's some truth to this idea that if we were going to take the troops out, which is what everybody fucking wanted, that was what was going to happen inevitably. Like they said, they trained 300,000 Afghan troops, and they folded, right? Like, they didn't fight like they expected them to. The Americans were bearing the majority of the combat burden. I mean, as a pacifist or a poet or a conscientious objector, right, we should be happy that we're not in a fucking war anymore. Like, the war's over. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe this is only the beginning. Like, they're so fucking stupid. I mean, I think it's partially just like this idea that Americans and all of the 9/11, like the insult and the humiliation, we'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. We can't handle, like, disgrace or the fact that we're like, oh, we got beat in a war or something. It's like, we didn't get beat. It's you can't win there, right? This is what we know from world history, and this is a perfect example. I don't even think this is like That's why this should have been more predictable, because, like, the terrain there, the nature of whatever it is in the culture there, like, they're master of that domain and that landscape. And so as soon as the Americans left, it makes sense that they would fucking come right out and like they said, there were 300,000 Afghan troops that didn't fight. So people want to have it both ways, and people are just, I mean, hopefully, right? They said, NATO said it was the worst disaster they've ever seen or something, which maybe that's true. I suppose it probably is, but I mean, the war itself was probably a bigger disaster, first of all. Both of those fucking wars. How many fucking people did we kill in both of those countries, right? And all of the people on the left, socialists, the resistance, we don't want to occupy those countries. We don't want to be imperialists abroad. We don't want to be nation builders. America, get out. America, don't be imperialists. Don't dominate the world with your... This is what everybody was feeling. Now, when they actually enact it, it definitely didn't look good, right? It doesn't look good. And it's dark. It's very dark. It feels like, what does this portend? And I'm hoping that it's not like some kind of, you know, like look at World War I, where it was like all these entangling alliances in this one little fucking thing. Like, who knows what the repercussions of this will be? All of the dumbass people with 9/11 in their imaginations are thinking, oh my God, the Taliban's back. Like, we're going to have terrorists. We're going to have something happen on our soil. It's like, this is not really a danger. You know, the Republicans are extremists too. They're fucking religious extremists. They're just as bad. They want to oppress women. They want to take away women's rights. They want to fucking police women's bodies. Like, it's a mere fucking image. The Taliban and the Christian right, right? So, you know, they want to make Biden a one-termer, obviously. I mean, it is kind of hard to believe the guy's been in Washington for 50 fucking years, and, like, he said that he couldn't see this coming. Well, it happened. So, you should have seen it coming because it happened. So, it was definitely a possibility because it fucking happened. I mean, how do I personally feel about it? Like, it's not our job to fucking be there. It's not our job to fucking police the world. It was clearly Bush-era bullshit. That was my Twitter rant this morning about the rehabbing of George Bush, and he was in the news talking about how it makes him sad. It's like, fuck you, shut the fuck up. You started the war because it was an endless war. And first of all, he didn't even do it. He was just the cheerleader. He was just the guy with the fucking megaphone or whatever those things are. He did 9/11. He's a criminal. He should be fucking... He should have been hung like Saddam. You know, like... He's a war criminal. The best thing that happened when George W. Bush was president was when that guy threw his shoes at him. That was the only good thing that happened when George W. Bush was president. In our really, to be honest, I mean, it was... I think people forget what a dark time that was. Well, half the population doesn't even realize, really, because they are just dumbass, fascist, crazy people, as we've seen. Like, the idiocracy, the original idiocracy was when fucking Bush was president. At least, you know, I mean, Reagan or whatever may have been the same thing, but Bush in particular was very Orwellian, and he was more effective than Trump was, because they had a whole team, they had a whole plan. It was all systematic. 9/11, boom. Wars, boom. They own stock in the fucking weapons and oil company. Like, it couldn't be any more fucking obvious. And they brought it home. They scared the shit out of everybody in this country because 9/11 made it feel like we were threatened, right? This was on our soil. All this never happened before. There could be Islamic terrorists in fucking your hometown. Maybe they're all just going to jump out at us. And it's like, God, Islamophobia, racism. It was a horrible time, really. He got reelected. I couldn't believe it. Like, if you're a Zoomer or whatever, maybe you were young. But I'm a geriatric millennial, so it was prime. I was 16 to 24 when Bush was president. Prime era. Frankly fabulous. And it was brutal. I mean, it was offshore, it was outsourced, right? The wars, they were sort of privatized, and the media censored it like a lot. You didn't really see what the fuck was going on. There were movies about it and shit, but those wars went on forever. When did they get out of Iraq or Iraq? Not that long ago. Like, it's hard to believe. I saw some fucking thing in a newspaper from 10 years ago about Afghanistan being an endless war. And I was like, God damn. That kind of put it in perspective. Like, 10 years ago, they thought it was an endless war. Like, this is the longest war America's ever been in. Like, for better or for worse, it's over now, right? I mean, dumbass right-wing people probably want to go back in there or something, but it's not our problem. Like, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't lead to some kind of fucking Homeland Security insanity. But Bush's whole painting thing, I mentioned this on Twitter. Maybe it was not good. I don't mean to sound like I really am on the side, and I love women. I love women. Like, I think they're... I don't mean to generalize or gender or sound like I'm negative about women. Like, they're clearly superior. Why did I bring this up? I went on a date with this girl who's an art therapist, right? A few years ago. This was, I think, 2017. So it was right in the beginning of Bush era or Trump era. But at that time, Bush really didn't have a bad public image because he'd been pretty much out of the limelight. And, the residue, what I've noticed is the residue of a lot of this stuff, of history and what has happened to us politically in our lifetime. What people retain is the public image, not really what actually happened. Like with Bush, people retain the fact that he's like this kind of like funny Will Ferrell character. He's strategery. He's like, oh, we love W. He's on our side. He cut our taxes. He gave us a check. He made rich people very happy. And he was Christian. That was the other thing, is he was super religious. That was a different, he wasn't religious, but his base was Christian fundamentalists, right, in this country. Christian conservative psychos. Rural people. The same people who were Trump supporters, except Trump was immoral, right? Bush sort of had this pretense, right, that he was like him and Laura and shit. He was a family man. He was a good guy. He's the kind of guy you'd want to have a beer with, right? We didn't want Biden, by the way. Biden was who the DNC rammed down our throat. We're lucky that he's in and not fucking Trump. But, like, for our own safety, I would say, but we'd prefer if it was Bernie, right? That's who we wanted. We wanted Bernie. Or fucking Elizabeth Warren would have been good. But I went on a date with this art therapist, and honestly, like I said, at this time, Bush's public image was not bad. It was like people kind of forgot. I didn't forget, and so I'm on a date with this girl, and she was super cool. I liked hanging out with her, but she liked George Bush's. This sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm thing. She was like positive about the fact that he was like a painter, and like how that, to me, that was art washing. Just like art is used to leverage a lot of the most evil fucking things that go on in our society. And my take on it was, he's just like all old serial killers, like what they do in jail. Like John Wayne Gacy was a painter. Like there are other examples, I can't think of them right now, but it's like, I don't know, it's what fucking psychos do. And so he's a fucking war criminal. He's a serial killer. He's a psychopath. Like George Bush put over 200 people to death when he was governor of Texas. He's a mass murderer. Like, he is fucked in the head. He's not a lovable guy. He's not funny. He's sitting next to Ellen at the Cowboys game. Ha ha ha. Oh, we're reaching across party lines, you know. With Trump, shit got really ugly, so like Bush looked like a normal human being by comparison. Even though, to be honest, Bush was probably worse. Trump tried to get a lot of shit fucked up, but he was mostly bluster. He was a lot of hot air. Nobody let him do shit for the most part. Thank God. Like, he did some fucked up shit. Don't get me, I mean, there's 600,000 people died. Maybe that's worse. But look, we still got anti-vaxxers. We still got fucking. I wonder what would have happened if Bush were president during the pandemic. A part of me thinks maybe they would have done the right thing. I don't know that they would have mandated masks. Maybe they would have. That might not even be an issue. Like, to me, it did seem like probably like a uniquely Trumpian invention to be like anti-mask and anti-vaccine. Like, that is so divorced from reality and just needlessly stupid. Like, I don't know if Bush would have gone there. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Like, 600,000 dead people. It's pretty bad. If Obama, let's say Obama were the president when coronavirus happened, how many people would have died, do you think? I'd say probably less than 100,000 maybe. But who knows? Maybe the virus is untamable. Who fucking knows? It's not worth talking about now. I think we can assume that Trump made it as bad as possible. But, and, well, there was a $5 trillion bailout. That's a lot of money. Trump may have wrecked the whole fucking thing. Who knows? But Bush, it was systematic. That's what people don't realize. He was never trying to do a good job. He was trying to disembowel the government and basically privatize everything that they possibly could, offload any kind of financial responsibility to the taxpayer. So they privatized the wars, they privatized jails. They have no risk, they have no liability. They're going in, they're stealing oil, they're raiding the loot. Hobby Lobby is stealing treasure. You know, all their fucking cronies and shit. It was fucking corrupt. And then the fucking economy crashed at the end, right? Bush did that too. But so this girl I was on a date with was like pro. She was like, it's good that he's painting, and like, to me that was like a deal breaker. Honestly, it was just weird. It was like she's like a hipster. I think she even went to Pratt. She lived in Brooklyn, and like, if you have anything positive to say about George W. Bush's paintings whatsoever, like, well, here's what I will say, okay? And this is, I don't think they're bad. They're better than Adolf Hitler's paintings. But that doesn't make him a better person in any way, shape, or form. That doesn't change my opinion of him at all. Like, would I want to own one of his paintings? Like, absolutely not. Like, I think in a certain way, I wouldn't even want to look at him. Like, he's an amateur, right? He's just like, there's nothing special about his fucking paintings. They're okay. They don't indicate some kind of like exceptional talent or anything like that. Like, they're okay. And he's gonna burn it. To me, George W. Bush, right? This is the end of the world. I don't think people realize this. They were Christian fascists. They're fighting the Crusades. They're the same people who have been doing this forever. Going to the Middle East, white people going to the Middle East and fucking trying to kill Muslims. That's what has been happening for thousands of fucking years. That's what they were doing in Afghanistan. That's what they were doing in Iraq. They're trying to control fucking the Muslim world and invade their world and dominate it. And so it makes people indignant that, like, this is why no one will ever sponsor me, by the way, that we pulled out. Oh, we pulled out! We pulled out! Fuck! We pulled out! It's none of our fucking business to be there. Like, they have their society is totally fucked, right? But they have a right to their own fucking whatever. It's their fucking country. I don't know. To me, Bush, right? They're bringing about the end of the world. I mean, this is a long process. The apocalypse, who knows how long it'll take. It's really, that's what's so. This feels like some kind of weird corner or something that we took to downward in a bad way. Maybe I should call my dad, see what he thinks about it. I need water. Let me get my water real fast. Hold on. What? Oh, shit. God damn it. Are you serious? There goes my fucking camera. Really? Come on. Dang, man. Come on now. Don't do this to me. Don't do me like this. Come on, I'm live on TV. Why, man, now this one's working, but this one is not. Why? I don't get it. Why did you stop working, you piece of shit? There it goes. Okay. Never mind. Probably didn't stop at all. Okay. So, to me, George W. Bush, right, is like in Dante's Inferno, right, when they get to like the bottom of hell, like the ultimate final boss of hell, the worst people that ever existed, right, in all the seven circles, and like Dante is all about kind of mathematically proportioning exactly the poetic justice, the equal punishment for the sin, and this is how much your sin, you know, how far down it was and how bad it was, and it's all poetic in that it's all symbolic. the form is so perfect and exact karmically, kind of to the evil or the sin in Dante's Inferno. And so right at the end of hell, right, I'm pretty sure it's like, it's the devil, but like in the devil's hand or like in his mouth or something is like, I forget exactly what it is, but he's got like Pontius Pilate and Judas Iscariot. And I think those are the worst. I'm not sure if they're the absolute worst or if that's who it is, but like, I think it's like they're in the devil's hands or like he's biting their fucking heads off or some. There's like a giant devil figure. I think it's the devil. Satan? Lucifer. I'll have to check it out again, see exactly. But I read that, I think probably in 2009 or 2010. To me, that's where George Bush goes. In the grand scheme, if you end all life on human Earth, or if you end all human life on Earth, if you end all life on human Earth, you get the big chair in hell. Like, you are like prime, you're worse than Hitler. Hitler, like, I mean, fuck Hitler, right? But he killed 6 million people or whatever. Not whatever. If you kill everybody, you got to die. You got to go to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Like, you are the devil. Like, and that's what's weird. That's why the reality feels like it has to be a simulation, because like that's where it feels like we're at. It literally feels like we're in the end game. We're approaching the final boss. We don't know what the fuck it's going to look like. There's unsettling environmental catastrophes all around us. I mean, I could see, depending on how things go, like people in our country just being like, Biden's not our fucking president. This guy's senile. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, look what he did in Afghanistan. He's not making real good decisions. He's not cognizant. We're going our own way. If there's some kind of real serious environmental collapse that, I mean, the pandemic, more or less, it was lucky that we were able to keep the amount of order that there was, I would say. The police are kind of like the super ego of society in that way. I think they comfort people who want the idea of security and the idea that society remains stable. I mean, 2020, that was probably as crazy as anything we've seen since World War II, probably, right? Like, as far as like the protests, the way the world just kind of stopped. I mean, nothing like that has happened since fucking World War II, probably. So, you know, these fires, it's just like, it's so in our face. There's fires, there's droughts, there's like, we're approaching maybe like when push comes to shove. We don't know how close we are, you know, like coming back to New York. A lot of people came back to New York. It could change like that. I don't know in what way or how, but like everybody was sort of going full steam ahead, like we're reopening. They're doing this fucking concert in Central Park, right, with Springsteen and Paul Simon and all these other fucking jerk-offs. And Broadway's reopening, but I really think with the vaccine, people thought it was over. I know that I pretty much did. I've got a line in my book that says I'm going to miss the pandemic. And I don't know. I mean, that's what we were thinking in April or May or whenever I wrote that line. when we were getting and everybody's getting vaccinated, and we're going into summertime, the weather's getting better, like boom, let's go. Now, well, the thing that's kind of scary about it is the unemployment situation, right? Because that is going to be up in a couple weeks, and you know, a lot of people are wanting it to be over because of handouts and laziness, and there's jobs that need to be filled, and people won't work if you're giving them money, but so they're going to cancel that. Maybe they'll cancel the eviction moratorium. Meanwhile, they're sending us back out into what this winter exactly? I mean, if you're vaccinated, supposedly you're pretty safe, right? So are they going to force vaccinated people like, hey, I'm sorry, but you're vaccinated, so you have to go out and pay your rent or make a living? Or, I mean, I think it would be nice. I mean, if they could extend it through the winter, I think by next spring things will be. Of course, it sounds like, oh, that's what you'll say next year. You'll say, oh, if you could just extend it. I mean, I think they should extend it forever, personally. That's my own personal opinion. Just make it a universal basic income. Can consider it part of the infrastructure bill. And don't just give people money. Don't even say you have to look for, I mean, you should. First of all, going out and looking for a job, I've never found a job that way. It's the worst way to find a job. The best way to find a job is to meet people, to do things. You create work. You find, oh, we need a person to do this, that. You know, people are always getting their friends jobs. That's how it works. You always want to hire your friend. You don't want to hire some fucking strange person. If you can hire somebody you know, or somebody who knows somebody you know, that's what you're always going to do when it comes to jobs. So they should pay us unemployment, but say you have to work on some kind of service, maybe to your community, or it's an investment. You have to take this money and build something with it. Build a business. It's a grant. Start a business. Buy equipment you need. Buy a computer. Buy instruments. Buy recording equipment. Buy a car. You can fucking deliver stuff. If you have an idea, here's money. Make the idea happen. You have money and time because you're on unemployment. We're locked in this situation, and it's volatile. We thought it was over, and now it's back. And they're in super lockdown in Australia, right? It's like super lockdown. You can't even leave your fucking house. It's wintertime there. We're going to have winter in August like Australia. That'll be here in December. So we don't know. This winter could look a lot like last winter as far as the way we comport ourselves through our lives. The way we go to the fucking store, or go to restaurants, or go to bars. I mean, things get a lot trickier in the winter when everything moves indoors. So, for me personally, I don't know. I mean, I will pick up video jobs where I can, but also, you know, I don't necessarily feel that comfortable going back to work yet. To be honest, like, I am immunocompromised, and like, they want to do all these in-person classes. They're forcing teachers back. 3 teachers just died in Louisiana or whatever, or Florida, some school district in Florida or something. Children are dying. I think people are not being realistic about And I think they should just try and make this time make it pass as easily as possible for people. Now, of course, we have this unbalance, right? Where most people are back to work. A lot of people are even back at the office. Most people are back at the office. So it looks unfair to just be sitting on your ass and collecting a paycheck. I don't know. That's our toxic culture. That's toxic work culture, toxic competition, and so we're coming to the end of summer vacation here. That's how it feels. September 5th is the last day. That's usually when school starts, around that time. When I was a kid in high school, right, our yearly ritual, our mom would always take us to Cedar Point. The last day before school, or the last weekend before school, was a 3-day weekend. So you'd have Monday off, and then you go back to school on Tuesday. They give you a 4-day week the first week to kind of like make it a little easier. And we'd go to Cedar Point, which was like, in Lake Erie, a couple hours from Columbus. We'd stay in the Breakers Hotel, play NBA Jam in the arcade. Awesome. Do fucking go-karts and shit, miniature golf. Ride the Magnum. Ride fucking the Corkscrew, the Raptor. I love the Gemini. The Gemini was probably my favorite. I love the Magnum. The Magnum was my favorite. I never got to ride the Millennium Force. Last time I went to amusement park, Cedar Point, I think I was 20. God, I was still pretty young, 22 maybe. And I got motion sickness. The last 2 times I was at Cedar Point, I got motion sickness. So I don't know if I can really do it anymore, to be honest. I love the runaway minecart ride. Every amusement park's got to have a runaway minecart ride. I guess that's because roller coasters resemble minecars. I love the Blue Streak. Cedar Point is the greatest thing about Ohio, to be honest. If there's any reason to visit Ohio, as far as like a world-class thing to do, it's definitely Cedar Point. I mean, I don't know roller coaster culture that well anymore. I'm sure it's changed since the internet and shit. Cedar Point's probably more of like a Detroit era type creation. Sandusky was where Callahan Auto was in Tommy Boy, where they make their brake pads. So Cedar Point probably had something to do with that industry. But I think it's the greatest collection of roller coasters in the world, probably. And it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous place. I loved going there as a kid, to be honest. It felt like Coney Island. It felt like our version of that. And it was. It was a, very romantic location, right? And beautiful. It felt like fucking, south of France or something to me. Or Coney Island. The beach is probably nicer than Coney Island, actually. I like Lake Erie. I'd like to go back. I haven't been there since I was a kid. But, so, we'd go to Lake Erie. We'd fucking ride all the, rides. Me and my brother. Our mom would take us. Because it wasn't that expensive. But, we didn't have a lot of money. So, it was like our equivalent of going to fucking Disneyland or something. And it was cooler than that. I mean, Cedar Point, it's not about the mascots and shit. It's not about the branding. It's about quality. The Demon Drop. I was in fucking Central Park the other day at the lagoon, or what's the fucking thing called? The reservoir. The Jackie Kennedy Onassis Reservoir, which is huge, beautiful. He loved it. And I'm, romantically laying there against the fence, and I'm staring at the super skyline, the super skyscrapers, these tall, they look like headless Pez dispensers. They're just super tall, thin, and their footprint, it's like a box. They look like a fucking like memory stick for like a PlayStation or something. But I felt like that, Manhattan especially is just like Cedar Point. The map even looks the same. The subway map looks just like the fucking like park map. They use the same colors and shit. You ride a train, It's a fucking complete theme park right now. And has been, right? It's for people to, like, vacation. Even the people who live here, it's like a pied-à-terre. They come in. College students can kind of handle it for a few years when they're 18. And then either they leave or maybe they move to Brooklyn. But it's basically a bunch of Airbnbs or tech people that kind of come and go. Or, like I said, students, finance, goddamn criminals. But these fucking super skyscrapers, I'm looking at them and they're the height of roller coasters, right? They're kind of that, you know, reaching for speed and like going to space and flying and technical engineering, rocket. And the fucking super skyscrapers, they look just like the Demon Drop. At Cedar Point, they have this ride called the Demon Drop, which basically, actually, I remember my friend Josh Height describing it to us before I ever saw it. He took a Hot Wheels car on our porch on Mulford, the yellow house, and he demonstrated the Demon Drop. He like rolled it up. So the Demon Drop, basically, you get in it, right? It's one of these things where they strap you in with this, and it's like a seat, and it's a car. But it's way different because it's just one car, and I think it's only two people, or not that many people ride it, to be honest. It's not one of the more popular rides. But that's what's great about Cedar Point is they really have a variety. It's different than all the other rides, so you can kind of get on it. And if you're into it, you know, it's cool because you can just ride it, and it kind of does its own thing. It's not a roller coaster. What it does, and I think probably every amusement park had this ride at some point. It's kind of unbelievable to me amusement parks even legal because, Jesus Christ, how insane. But this thing, so it takes you in the fucking, you know, so you're in this thing and it backs up. So you're going, I think, or no, it pushes you up forwards. So you go up forwards, right? And basically it just like pushes you straight up. It's like an elevator shaft or something. Or like I said, it looks almost like a Pez dispenser, but with no head. And it just pushes you up. So you're like facing up, I think, when you get to the very top. You know, and it's a couple 100 feet. I'm not sure exactly. It's blue, and like the fucking thing has got like eyes. It's got like green eyes painted on it. Like demon eyes. Almost like the eyes from Cats, but like evil looking. And, you know, you sit there for a minute locked in at the top, and you're looking up. So you can't fucking see. And you're 200 feet off the ground, and all of a sudden, it just fucking drops, you know, and you free fall straight down, and then it's like a curved, you know, kind of ramp at the bottom. So you basically fall a couple 100 feet straight backwards. You can't see where you're going, so it's just total free fall. I mean, I wonder what the G-force is. And then you know, at the bottom into the... That's what these skyscrapers seem like to me, the Demon Drop. And so, I never rode the fucking Demon Drop. I wasn't interested. Josh Height took his RC car, you know, and he fucking rolled it up the column of our porch, and then, woo! And it's small. The footprint of the Demon Drop, it's different than, like, you know, a roller coaster is a whole fucking track. The Demon Drop is just like these fucking skyscrapers. They had the indoor roller coaster, that's great. I love that one. The Mean Streak. Gotta mention the Mean Streak. That was a real son of a bitch of a roller coaster. I loved it. I think it was the world's biggest wooden roller coaster or something. And it was mean. You know, it jerked you around and it was rough. But I like the Blue Streak. The Blue Streak is like from fucking, I think maybe from the early 1900s or something. And it goes along the lake. That's a classic. That's one of the greatest roller coasters in the world, you know. It really feels like you're in the fucking 20s or something riding that thing. But it's a good ride. It's not super tall like these fucking, you know, the Gemini and shit. But, or the Magnum or the Millennium Force. I mean, it's kind of insane that that's even legal. Because in these fucking, when you're up in the air, you know, you're barely in the roller coaster hardly. It's kind of a... I think as a kid I was probably smart to not get on them, but there was a few years in middle school, like I said, we'd go every year before the weekend before we go back to school. So there was a few years where I rode all the fucking roller coasters. I loved it. I was really into it. I rode the Magnum 6 or 7 or 8 times, one year. How long have I been on? An hour and 30. I don't know if I really want to do 30 more minutes. I'll talk for a few more minutes. So, yeah, that's where it feels like we're at, but then at the end of the weekend, the ride home is real depressing. It's the end of the summer. School's coming back. You got to go back to school. It's going to get cold. It's going to be fall. I didn't even go to the beach this year. I still got to get out there. I don't know what the fuck I did. I walked around. I filmed shit. I went to a bunch of readings. My scooter's coming tomorrow. So I'll get one last fucking hurrah. I was doing an in-depth on-location study of the neighborhoods. I don't know. Have I just been sitting on my ass watching TV? It feels like maybe the last few weeks I haven't gotten out as much. I'm not sure. If I think back on what I actually did, I mean, I've been editing. What the fuck have I been doing? Have I just been watching a bunch of TV? God, that's sad. No, that can't be, can it? I made the books. I mean, I had that reading on Sunday, but that was the first thing. And then I made a bunch of episodes of my show, which I submitted, so I got my shit together with that. I haven't been on any dates. God, what the fuck? I mean, the festival, that was a big thing, right? I try to alternate between periods of, like, heavy activity, going out, walking a lot, and times where I'm at home getting things done. It feels like I've had a healthy balance of that. But I was spending a lot more time in definitely the West Village, and probably these. I mean, I was going to Tompkins a lot. I was going to the Washington Square Park a lot. I was walking everywhere in the West Village, and I don't really think I've been doing that as much recently, to be honest. Maybe I've just been walking different places, and it's occurring to me in a different way. Like I've been going more by the river to the extreme West Village a little bit. Horatio Street. I go to Bleecker Park, but probably, to be honest, probably not quite as much as I used to, I suppose. I don't know. So I got this fucking... So, yeah, we're heading to the end of school. Did we get all our fun in? I mean, I've had a great summer, definitely. I mean, I kind of wanted to be alone, and maybe I could have done more, but it's been important for me to get my TV show kind of back on its feet. That's been my main effort. I've been publishing a lot, right? Putting books together. Last week, that's what I did. I put together my new books, so those are coming at the beginning of September. It takes a few weeks. They're not going to be done printing until August 24th. That's fucking, I ordered them 2 days ago. And then I don't get them till like September 5th or something at the earliest, so they're just... the new books, it's just my review copies, basically, or my proofs, essentially. So, I'll actually have to order copies of it. I don't know. We don't know what the fucking autumn is going to look like. We got at least a year until, if there's a midterm election, that shit goes haywire. Like, we got at least a year of Democrats in power, so I don't think there will be total insanity, but what the fuck? What if Joseph Biden is, like, actually senile and, like, can't do the shit? I think maybe he's put that idea in people's heads now. But when I saw the interview with George Stephanopoulos, he seemed like all the generals said the same shit, basically. They said their intelligence told them that, which That they didn't expect that to fucking happen. There was no indication that that was going to happen. I mean, to be honest, it seems like to me there's been a lot of undermining of U.S. intelligence agencies during the Trump era. So who fucking knows what kind of shape those are even in? Like, everything that I've seen based on the way the FBI or whoever's behaved is like they're incompetent, more or less. So they're idiots. Like, they're weird, too. Like, their training makes them all weird. So, like, that's totally possible that the intelligence was just, like, way dumb. Like Snowden, man. I hate fucking Snowden, to be honest. Like, everybody acts like Snowden is, like, some kind of superhero of the modern age because he, like, saved our data or whatever. It's like, every one of his takes, he's like Elon Musk or something. Like, he doesn't get it. He's not a human being. Like, everybody thinks he's some superhero. I don't know. I don't buy it. So, I've got this scooter coming, right? It's August 20th. Fucking. So, I'll have a couple months at least to mess around with it, see how it goes. Who knows what the winter's going to be like? Is it going to be... Should I have bought... I mean, I've been on foot all summer, but I haven't regretted that. I felt good about getting to know the area I'm in and spending time in the area I'm in rather than trying to extend my reach out. Like, I really wanted to spend a lot of time in the West Village, and doing it on foot. So, like, I haven't gone to the galleries enough, to be honest. Today I went to the City Thrift Opera bookstore. I stepped into a gallery real fast, but they're right there. I could literally go to the galleries any day. I could just stop in, right? I made an episode with some shit. That was pretty good. I went to Central Park. I went to Zabar's. To me, it's been more about getting back into New York, but, I mean, I have been here, March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months, right? And so, it's not a short amount of time I've been here. It's half as long as I was in Columbus, to be honest. And I've done a lot, to be honest, already. I've filming those events at Poetry Project, doing KGB, doing Poetry Festival. This reading I did on Sunday was great. I've been missing out on my live stuff because I've been, I don't know, doing a lot of editing video stuff, putting the shows together for TV, shooting that. That's been my main project over the summer, and I'm proud of the work. Honestly, I think it really is cool. I want to do it for every season, right? So I think I don't even know. I probably made 6 episodes or 7, or I don't even know. A couple hour long. I'd like to do fall, winter. I'd like to do that many episodes for each, you know. So continue the pattern. And I've been writing. I've been reading a lot, actually, or at least maybe not a lot, but I'm reading more. I'm not. I think it's important to me to do like with the TV, right? I did spend a lot of time watching TV, but like that's one way of doing research. Like I said, watching these shows kind of has put Bush era into focus. You kind of remember, and you also just see the corporate. I don't know. That's how I justify it anyway. Maybe I just waste a lot of time watching TV. I could have hung out with my friends more. I do regret that. I've been horrible. I mean, and I will say this. This is something that I think I recognize about myself. It's just like, that's one reason why this pandemic is hard, is because I do best in person. And I do best with person-to-person interaction. That's where I thrive. That's what I learned, basically, in New York, was like how to talk to people and how to be social. And so the pandemic kind of takes that away from us. We can't perform in person. We can't. I haven't been socializing really that much at all, to be honest. And I mean, hanging out with my friend the other night, I felt like, Jesus Christ, I got emotionally gutted by that. So how fun is that? Like, I made myself vulnerable to hang out with somebody. I don't know. I've had a lot of toxic, bad mental, probably health habits over the past couple months where I've cut myself off from people. But once again, okay, so this is a social media thing, right? I really hate sending emails and even texts. I'm not really that great at. And it's just too, it's not that it's too much effort, it's just not the effort I want to do. Like, it would be easier for me if, like I said, if I could do it in person. Like, for instance, finding work for the magazine. Like, I'm kind of dragging my feet on it just because, like, it's just like emailing people is all it is, and it just sucks. I mean, I hate writing emails. And to be honest, texting is not that fun either for the most part. Social media posts, like, I feel like you just leave yourself out there to get totally gutted. So I've been in this isolation, and I haven't been seeing my friends because, like, I have weird relationships with most of the people I know in New York, and I can't meet anybody new because there's not that many opportunities to do that, right? Because there's no socializing, and I haven't been doing as much of that maybe as I should have. Should I be out every night doing that? I don't know. Like, to some extent, we have to take a calculated risk. And I've done the gigs I got. I got KGB, I got Poetry Fest, and I did the one yesterday. Like, to me, those are 3. They were legit. They were all beautiful. I want to get on this series one more time before they're done. They do it a few more times. And I want to do my in-person in park. The other thing was the park shows seemed dumb during the summer because everything was going back indoors because the pandemic was over, whereas now things are acting up again. Now it seems like, okay, now I can go to parks and do my show and it'll make sense. So I'm very happy with it's one of these things with, like, this is one of the poetry job things, right? Is like, what do you do with the other 23 hours of the day? It doesn't take you that long to do your job, which is to write a poem. You can do that in 5 minutes. What do you do with the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day? So with my work, it's kind of a similar thing. It's like, well, I know how to rotate the crops of my productivity to some extent. Like, I need to be gathering footage, I need to be editing it, I need to be posting it, and then I need to be doing writing stuff to kind of give that a break and work on something else. Or at least that's what I thought. I mean, with my last episode, or the episode I'm editing now, like, with my previous episodes this summer, I shot all the stuff, like, fast, and I edited it fast, and I just put it out. And this, I was like, I want to gather footage for more period of time because maybe it'll be interesting to see it that way as opposed to the way I've been doing it. And to be honest, it just didn't really work. The footage was, like, very spaced out, and so it's less apparent what the narrative, or, like, what the thread is. So, like, I think it'll be a good episode, but I'm having to edit it a little more. So, to be honest, I kind of was wasting a lot of time and hurting myself because I was ready to work and shoot and edit, but I also, like, I want to have a somewhat leisurely pace, or I don't know how to get back to, like, working on something. Like, I was talking to my friend about shooting something, but I don't know. I never, to be honest, in the 6 months that I've been here and I've had plenty of opportunity, I haven't even really, like, sat down and, like, written, like, a play or a movie script or anything like that. I've told myself a bunch of times I would do it, and I haven't even written anything resembling that, which is kind of pathetic because I could just, I don't have to take it so seriously. I could do it. I haven't wanted to, I don't know, overwrite. I really only try to write the things down that I feel like are original, or the distillation of. And then this is my form of writing in a long form prose way. So I do this, I do my poems, which are like tweets that I don't tweet, that go into my notebook. I rarely will sit down and like write, because I've gotten into this habit of like pretty much everything I put down in my notebook I will publish. Like my Contagion or Selective Amnesia, my Contagion journal that's coming out, pretty much everything I wrote in my notebook is in the book. I didn't really edit anything out, because I'm already pre-editing by only writing the shit down that like I feel like is part. It also feels like anytime I push phrases out, it doesn't have the magic of something that's like an accident, right? Like when you capture an accident through the day, when you misread something or some kind of one-of-a-kind phrase comes to you, that's really like it's hard to create that when you're like pushing out. And when I'm like really pushing out writing, I'll use a lot of the same words over and over again, and like, I don't know, I use a lot of like scientific sounding words or something, and big words, and like I don't know. When I just jot things down in my notebook, I don't do that as much. So I like that. And I don't know, I've sat down and written so much in my life that I feel like I'm at a phase where I can take it easy and just allow the kind of nuggets to come out, right? The diamonds to come out, rather than like Philip Whalen said this thing, and maybe it had too much of an influence on me. I think Joanne Kiger asked him about his prayer beads and like what his prayers were. He's saying, he's like, or what something about like, you know, the specificity of, you know, the ritual of what you do with the beads. And he said, you know, this is Zen. You don't have to do that. You just play with them, right? And that's kind of Philip Whalen, and like that's kind of like a poetry approach too, right? Is it's like, rather than like, oh, I have to learn the rosary, or I have to like learn these fucking like very disciplined kind of forced things, like you're meditating still, you still have the beads, and it's kind of better for you in a way to relax and to not have that strict. It can get you to a place where you make something more alive, and you make something more, I don't know. For me, when I try, that's when I write bad. Like this poem I read at the fucking thing on Sunday, the One Nationwide Plaza. It's just like, it's just forced. It doesn't, whereas the stuff that comes to me throughout the day, or that now my stuff takes a more kind of organic course through it. And so I don't know. I've gotten to a point where my art and my performance of my life is sort of about capturing the best epiphanies or phrases or awarenesses or definitions or descriptions or whatever, poetic material. That sort of you catch throughout the day. That kind of sticks to you or strikes you. That all goes in the book, and so you're pre-editing. That's the composition. The plot is your life, is the narrative of the news, the society, the world, everything we're going to, your personal subjectivity through that, the buildings, the colors, the textures, the sounds, the smell, all of it, all of the mind, every sense, every definition, everything that patches the collage of our mind work. That's going into my lines, hopefully. That's what I'm trying to do. And so I find if you say things out loud, I don't know, maybe they have to pass some kind of test or something to get there. I don't know. So yeah, with my show, I've been kind of letting it happen. Rather than, oh, I gotta write scripts, oh, I gotta get people, oh, I gotta... I mean, I can't work it with any of the people I know. The tone I'm getting from the post-pandemic world is we're all going to be mean to each other and bad to each other, and we're all in bad places. I mean, right, the thing that leads to depression, the thing that leads to suicide or addiction or, you know, unhealthy decisions is isolation, alienation, being alone, the feeling that you're alone. And we're all there right now, right, because of the pandemic. I mean, not all of us. Some people have people, but it's stressful for everybody. And I think a lot of us, it has really intensified exponentially that feeling of isolation and aloneness. And so I think it's magnified a lot of people's mental health problems. And I think most of us have mental health problems. I mean, a lot of people are in therapy. No one is as perfect as they look. That's this lie of social media. But we're all a mess, and we're all taking shortcuts and trying to get away with something. And I was watching this thing with David Lynch, right, where he was saying he doesn't do therapy because the therapist told him it could change his creativity. Or that thing about Rilke, he didn't want to do psychotherapy because he said if his demons left him, he was afraid his angels would leave him too. Now, maybe that's a completely toxic point of view, but I'm not anti-therapy, but, like, I'm not going to pay for it. When I went to therapy, the guy prescribed me Prozac, so, like, fuck you. Like, I'm not down with that. That's not a solution to me. I don't really want to be in therapy. I don't think it's good to be a functional part of the apocalypse. Like, I think it's good that we're dysfunctioning. It's probably like a biological... I mean, I don't know. I definitely feel like way more full of, like, rage than I did probably this time last year. Maybe. I mean, I was pretty full of rage then, too. But... For just because of the isolation, I think. And that's New York, I guess. That's the position I've put myself in. But I like it. Maybe I'm just getting too much of what I like, but I like it. I love my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. With all of the time, which is necessary, because you need a lot of time when you're working between the work. Even, especially if it's poetry and what I'm doing, performance, like, I think I have a nice pace. I could see my friends more, but, these are the happiest days of my life, to be honest, sincerely. Like, the last 6 months have probably been the happiest time of my life. Even though there's been frustration and I haven't really gotten, I'm alone. Yeah, this has been the happiest time of my life, definitely. Like, I wish it could just go on forever like this. Maybe, I mean, they're trying to reopen schools, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. I wish, to be honest, it's going to sound fucked up, but I wish I had been in school when this happened. This would have been the greatest fucking thing in the world. If I had been in, like, middle school or something when I had just gotten Zelda and, WCW NWO Revenge... The pandemic had just hit right then. That would have been the greatest thing that could have possibly happened. Because as a kid, you're kind of very low risk. And you get out of school for a fucking year? Like, holy shit. That would have been beyond I think one time when we were in school, they delayed our start by like a week or something, or 2 weeks, because of something with the school was fucked up, like the piping or something. And it was like the most amazing thing that ever happened. It was like, holy shit, this is so great. 2 extra weeks of summer. Yes! There's nothing better than calling in sick, having school get canceled. This is the greatest feeling in the world. Because it's anti-capitalist. It's the most anti-capitalist thing. It's just having school get canceled and work get canceled. It's the greatest thing. I would always rather stay home. Always. Every fucking time. I mean, I love performing. If I can get a life where I continue to do what I'm doing, just more, I'm so down. I'm so in. But school sucks. And going to an office fucking sucks. But performing and shit, that's like beautiful human connection and whatnot. I'm all for human connection, but getting school off for a year, whew, these kids are so fucking lucky they have no idea. I would have loved it. I wouldn't have missed any of it. It was poison. Honestly, it was all bad. I hated fucking school. If I could do it over again, I would not have missed out by not going to fucking school. To generalize. I'll go into that more at another time. All right, we'll wrap it up pretty soon. It's WFLF, live from New York, live from my chair. We got the Apple fucking product placement right in the... My show is just like me with my leg up in my shorts. Hey, that's what it's all about. You know, manly beauty. So my scooter comes tomorrow. I'm super stoked. It's going to extend my reach so I can film some new shit. I can get around more, right? This guy I met the other night's playing tomorrow night in the East Village. I might go to that. On my scooter. I don't know what I'm going to do about a lock, but I got it. Get this. I got it on fucking sale, right? So I've been looking at these scooters, and they've been all over the place with the price. Like, I wanted this one, and they had it on their website, but I didn't have my debit card, right? Because of blah, blah, blah. And so I couldn't buy it. And then they sold out of it. Well, I had the coupon code in the fucking... I had it in the cart, and there was a coupon. It was $330, right? And there was a coupon code for $20 off, and then they sent me another coupon for $5 off, so I theoretically could have got it for close to $300, which I would have done, to be honest. I was ready to do that. With free shipping from Texas, it would have taken like 10 days to get here. But they have it on Amazon, they have it on Walmart.com too, $330 at all of them. And I didn't really want to pay that much because I got on... forums or whatever, and it said that earlier in the summer they had a promo where it was only $280. So I'm thinking, fuck, like, I can't believe I missed that. I'm kicking myself, right? So I check Amazon from time to time, but they totally sold out of these things. Like last week, they totally sold out of... There's a black one and there's a red one, and they totally sold out of the black one. I don't really want the red one. Or it's silver, I guess. Not black, it's silver. I want the silver one, not the red one. And so I get on Amazon yesterday in the morning, or I think it was yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Yeah, yesterday. Well, it was Tuesday. And they got the silver ones back in stock, but they're $330. So then I found this fucking... It's like a lower version of the same scooter, but it was used on Craigslist for $100 in Bed-Stuy. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just buy that because I don't know, like, I don't want this thing to get stolen. And, well, like, it's my first scooter. Do I really want to invest all this money? So I emailed the guy about it, like, hey, is your scooter still for sale, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, if he would have fucking told me, like, yeah, come get it, I would have gone out and probably got it, to be honest, Tuesday night. If he would have said that, I probably would have been like, yeah, fuck it. I'll pay $100 to try this thing, like... If something happens to it, who cares? Then, Tuesday night at like, I think sometime around 8, I get back on Amazon and just kind of check real fast to just see. Because I've been checking periodically because I really want to get one of these things. And like, I'm hoping some kind of deal shows up, right? And so I get back on Amazon, and I don't want to use Amazon. I probably shouldn't brag about this because, you know, I'm contributing to the death of the world and everything. But anyway, so I just on a whim, I searched for it, and for a limited time, I don't even know how long, for like an hour or something, they were selling these scooters for $50 off for $280. So I just so happened to get on at the exact right time to see that this thing is on sale for like literally like an hour or something. So I was like, I gotta buy this. So I pulled the trigger, I bought it, and it was Prime delivery. So it'll be here. It said it was supposed to be here Friday, but it's supposed to be here today. It said it's out for delivery today. So hopefully it'll be bomb as fuck, and I'll be riding the fucker around like a motherfucker tomorrow and Friday and having an awesome time. I mean, I rarely buy things for myself that are just purely for fun. In fact, I don't know if I ever have, to be honest. Like this thing, I mean, it's practical because I do want to be able to get and see more in New York. Like, I want to go to Central Park. I want to be able to go to Tudor City, to go to downtown, to go further into the East Village without having to walk 45 minutes or get on a train. So it's like, it is a practical thing to have. Susan said I should have got one a few months ago. And it didn't really hit me. Now it's like, oh yeah. Like I said, I wanted to be on foot. I wanted to experience everything in my immediate surround on foot, primarily. And the pandemic also, right? It wasn't that safe to get on trains and whatnot. But I feel like now's the time. So it feels like good luck. I'm really excited about it. Summer continues. Maybe, we'll have a warm winter or something, and I'll get to use it. We deserve it. I don't know. I think global warming has made the winters worse, but who knows? And also just my situation here. So I everything is so fucking crazy up in the air in a weird way, but we're riding the motherfucker hard, as usual, living it to the bone, ranting on Twitter, ruining our online reputation, having nervous breakdowns on social media, over and over and over and over again. It's my art, having nervous breakdowns as an art form. Life is pretty hard in the end times. Well, we don't know how swift it's going to be. Will we get to live like a natural lifespan? Will our children? Only time will tell. This is Frankly Fabulous. Thank you for watching. It's the Frankly Fabulous show. We'll be back on soon. Make sure you oh fuck, I missed my show. Fuck. I meant to watch it at 11:30. God damn it. Make sure you watch Frankly Fabulous on Brooklyn Public Access, 11:30 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. And also, now we are on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Mondays, 11 p.m. We're on the Lifestyle Channel. My show is like a vlog, but it's not really, like, I never really watch vlogs, so, like, now I've seen these vlogs, and, like, I tried to do some shit where I talk to the camera, and, like, I don't know. I do need some kind of better look, maybe. I need to get contact lenses. I really want to get contacts. And, make sure you watch Scenes from Life. It's a great show. Thank you for watching, or not watching, or, aliens out there in the future, the time capsule of our prosthetic memory, if you're watching this, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. This will be like the Mayan calendar of the aliens who find our remains, our fossilized remains, 6 trillion years from now. Good night, aliens. In this Frankly Fabulous based civilization that's based on my teachings, your perfect utopian society based on the teachings of Fabulous. or medium-sized kings rule. I'm a medium-sized king. I'm happy with that label. I'm comfortable with it. I'm not angry about it. I'm a medium-sized king. I'm a king. Okay, we don't need to bring size into it. I'm a king. That's all that fucking matters. I'm king-sized. Your society is based on poetry and love and life, energy, politeness, kindness, universal basic income, sharing. The Frankly Fabulous Doctrine. Perfect society. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Good night, everybody. Have a lovely time. Have a lovely week.